everybody. This is Laura Hendrickson. Welcome to our summit with online sales funnel experts. Today we have Eric Cimrhanzel with us, and he has been working with personal businesses, mastering the art and science of high ticket sales across 4 separate niche markets. We are looking to develop cash infusing sales funnels and businesses where leads and clients arrive automatically. So thank you so much, Frank, for joining us. We're looking forward to this interview with you. And just if you want to kind of expand on what people would like to know about you, why don't you go ahead and talk to us a little bit about your background, and then of course how you got into this online sales funnels and high ticket sales.
Awesome. Thanks so much for the introduction. I really appreciate you and everybody watching. Thank you so much for being here. I got started in this space in 2004 when I worked with the United States military as a civilian fitness subject matter expert, teaching Marines, airmen, sailors, and some soldiers how to do Olympic weightlifting, gymnastics, kettlebell lifting, and all kinds of cool stuff so that they could survive even better on the battlefield, and so that off the battlefield, they could really be as healthy and as strong and as fit as they could be without necessarily needing to go into a gym, and especially without injuring themselves, which was super important. And I did that for a number of years. I actually wrote my first 3 ebooks. 2 of them were for that Corps of Cadets at Texas A&M, and then one of them I sold online in 2008. So I got started pretty early in this online space, sold that for a few years, and then right around 2012, I woke up one day and I just recognized, it was very early 2012, right around January, and I'm like, I'm going into what was at the time like my 7th, 8th year of being a fitness coach, and I was like, I don't know how to sell anything. I don't understand, like, how do we make money doing this? How do we make good money doing this? So I'd been making decent money, and I wanted to make this shift over into what we know of now as high ticket sales. Back in 2012, we didn't really know it as that. We just knew that if you were selling things for higher value, that you were going to make more money. And so I shifted over into doing door-to-door knocking for the construction industry for a while. Ended up managing a car dealership for a couple of years out in Texas. So I've worked with major corporations like Chase Bank, Honda, Petron, Toyota, and other household names. And then that level of success allowed me to get headhunted into this digital marketing high ticket sales space in 2014. So I was one of the people that came in and designed one of the very first Facebook advertising, 2 webinar, 2 phone call, where you're going to enroll somebody into a super basic $10,000 8-week course. I was one of the original designers of that sales sequence in 2014, and pumped multiple 6 figures into multiple businesses using that very standard model, which it's even more simplified, is just direct response advertising. Put people in front of a massive value presentation, get people from that presentation into a phone call or a conversation, like by video, and then you're typically enrolling people within 1 to 2 phone conversations. And over the years, I started applying that to a bunch of different niche markets, ended up going back to the fitness industry and showing a whole bunch of people lots and lots of success stories on videos that I've had now, where fitness professionals are coming in and they're charging anywhere between $100 an hour as a personal trainer, or maybe $150 to $200 a month as a CrossFit instructor or something similar, into creating $2,000 to $6,000 packages where you're working with people for somewhere between 2 to 12 months. And that industry has been going very, very, very well, along with showing fitness professionals who maybe are more introverted, who don't want to have that high ticket stress and pressure, because there is a lot of it, how to have more medium ticket businesses that are much more sustainable. And those businesses that are charging more sustainable prices, they're doing a whole lot better in any kind of economic shock than people who are focused on the high ticket sales space, who are normally charging $5,000 plus for their packages. So I've really been able to see like the ins and outs of this industry, behind the scenes of 6-figure companies that are really small, 7-figure companies that think that they're big, they're actually really tiny, to seeing 8, 9, and 10-figure and beyond businesses, and just seeing what works and what doesn't in the real world. And it's been a lot of fun to help people make even more money, help even more people, and well, have even more fun and do great things.
That's awesome. So with the work that you've done, are there any like must-have tools that you like to have people make sure, like, obviously there are a lot of platforms out there, there's a lot of choices, and oftentimes somebody will say, okay, well, I already bought this platform, and can you integrate it with the whole thing? But as far as just when you just take something from scratch, what are like some key tools that you say, okay, you must have these things as part of your sales funnel?
Yep, absolutely. YouTube and Google Doc. Those are the absolute two most important tools. If you cannot sell your high ticket offer from a Google Doc or a written sales letter and a YouTube video or a video uploaded to Google Drive, you're never going to sell it with a funnel. So don't invest into software, don't invest into autoresponders, don't invest into ClickFunnels, don't have any of that nonsense until you have a working, converting, selling offer that brings you buyers. That's the most important thing. Google Docs, maybe spreadsheet like Google Sheets to encapsulate your first 100 buyers. Once you have 100 buyers, then it's worth it to invest in all that software, all that technology, all that good stuff, and some type of social media, usually Facebook and LinkedIn, depending on your niche market. If you're going B2C or B2B, are the two most popular right now to spread your message, put your offer organically in front of people, as many people as you can. Know that the 3% rule is always going to play out. So when you put your offer in front of 100 people, you're going to have 3 buyers, provided that there are 100 people who are somewhere in your avatar. You're either going to have 3 buyers or you're going to be in front of 3 buyers whenever you communicate with 100 people. So those are the two most important tools, is something to document your offer message with. And I like Google Docs as a favorite because it's easy to share, and some way to create video that you can upload from your phone and distribute it all over the world. And YouTube's my favorite platform right now. So that way people have no more excuses. A lot of what holds people back from succeeding in this online space is, well, I'm not a big tech person. Awesome. Can you fire up Google? Well, I don't know how to upload websites, or, ClickFunnels just went down, like what happened recently with one of my sites with an older Sandbox account, ended up getting like shifted around. And so part of my site doesn't work, but it doesn't matter because I can sell something from a Google Doc and a YouTube video. And people who can do that have infinite confidence when it comes to technology because they know they can always outsource anything that's more technical than that to somebody else. People who can't do that will typically waste hundreds, if not tens of thousands of dollars on coaching programs, on software, on all these tools they think they need, when what they actually need is a converting offer that allows buyers to hand them money.
Right. Yeah, and that's been an interesting journey, and part of the reason why I'm doing this summit is because as I've spoken to each different master at this online sales funnel, each one has kind of had their niche. And at one point I went through a whole mentorship, and of course they were showing me, oh yes, it's simple, but the back end, the ship that I was building, all those platforms, was so exorbitant that at one point I'm like, well, my ship is sinking. I'm not selling as fast as I'm having to pay for these online platforms and all these things. So thank you for that. So next would be, in a lot of ways, I'll just share what I had learned in general, as far as there's 4 phases to a sales funnel in what I've learned so far. And that's the advertising, it's the landing pages, it's the nurturing, and then it's obviously the sales call. So you basically went into kind of YouTube being a main landing page that would convert and creating that offer. But what would you say of those 4 components do you feel like you've really, that's your sweet spot? And like 3 tactics around, maybe creating a YouTube video that converts, like maybe it's the offer, like what part of that do you feel like you've completely mastered, and like 3 tips that people can really start implementing in that space.
What were your 4 phases again? Just so I can see them in front of me.
They're in the notes there, but advertising, landing pages, nurturing, and sales calls.
Cool. So sales calls is my number 1. I got my start in this space again, years and years ago, where other companies would pay for the leads and they would set up the appointments, and it was just my responsibility to get onto sales calls. I've done that thousands of times in multiple niche markets now. So that's really where I show up and shine, is actually getting them once they're on the call. Like, how do we just shift them over and make sure that the money's happening? So when it comes to advertising and then the landing page and then the nurturing, when I think of a funnel, I don't think of these technical pieces. What I imagine is actually the psychological journey. So when I imagine a funnel, I always imagine the hero's journey that the prospective client is going through in order to get to the point where they're handing money over to you so that you can give them the magical elixir or the offer or the product or the widget that's going to allow them to really resolve their pain. So if I was to break this up into 3 different journeys, I look at this as the journey of attention, the journey of awareness, and the journey of appreciation. So breaking up attention into 3 core components, the main ways that we get people's attention is either speaking to their pain. So what are they experiencing right now in their own words? The problem, what's really going on underneath that pain, like what do they think it is versus what you as an expert know that it is? And then what are the consequences, the stakes, the ramifications if they continue to do nothing? What happens if they don't solve the problem? Where are they going to be at in 6 months, a year? Or where are they like already experiencing pain? And then how do we extrapolate out that pain? So that's an attention campaign. And attention campaigns, we can either do that in big scale, like multiple marketing touch points, or we can do it in really small scale if we're trying to capture somebody's attention. A great example, if you're a chiropractor, then you're going to want to put images in front of people that shows like painful lower backs, maybe a red spot on that lower back. So that would be the pain. The problem, you could then show people sitting all day, their hip flexors getting shortened, their glutes becoming weaker, which obviously leads to a lot of back pain for people. And then consequences, you can show an image of somebody like hunched over quite a bit for a long period of time as they're older. And then you could also show an image of an older person who's standing up tall, erect, like an Adonis. And by your help of chiropractic, you're capturing that attention and then giving people an obvious solution. So that's an attention campaign. And then we shift that into an awareness campaign. An awareness campaign is what you think of as nurturing. This is where you begin to show people who you are, your unique process or method or way of doing things, your DAO, whatever that is, and then your case studies and testimonials, or the case studies, testimonials of your unique way of doing things if you didn't come up with it yourself directly. So when people are made aware of who you are, what you do, and who you've already done before, all of your resistance to sales goes out the window. Because the most common reasons people don't buy is, I don't know you, I don't trust you, or I don't view you somehow as an authority. But if you show people, hey, here's who I am, here's the expertise that I have, or here's who my company is, here's the whole team that we have. So who are you can be both individual or team bound. Your unique way of doing things. So your step-by-step pattern to, again, if you were going to sell this, your 4-step unique funnel might be advertising, landing page, nurturing, sales calls. I would have, a different way of describing that, but our unique processes, and especially if we name those processes, like if I'm thinking of 3 A's, attention, awareness, appreciation, I might call it the triple ACE method for high ticket sales, because it's been working for years and years. And then case studies, testimonials. So proof that you've done it for other people. I always recommend people get case studies and testimonials first before going into any kind of high ticket sales. If they don't have testimonials, and I prefer people have about a dozen before shifting to high ticket, I recommend that they charge something medium ticket or just some way, somehow get people results. Because even if it takes you a year to get 12 case studies or testimonials, that's 1 a month. So 1 client, 1 solution, 1 testimonial per month. You have a dozen testimonials in a new marketing campaign, and it's going to blow out of the water somebody who doesn't have those. They're not absolutely necessary, but they do skyrocket your confidence and your conviction in those high ticket sales prices. So that's an awareness campaign, who you are, your unique way of doing things, and then your case studies, testimonials. And then the final one is an appreciation campaign. So in an appreciation campaign, I don't just want to say, hey, thank you for viewing all of our messages. I literally want to appreciate value. So I want to put energy in and I want to get more energy out, which is economic definition of appreciation. And so it's beyond thankfulness, it's beyond gratitude, like those are foundational, but we're doing this also so that we watch energy go out. So the way that we show people we appreciate them is by listening to them and by reflecting back what's going on for them. And so appreciation campaigns are broken up into objections. So like, this works for you, even if, and then you're addressing their limiting beliefs. You might be addressing their money, their energy, their reputation, their identity, or the amount of time that it's going to take to implement this solution and to heal their pain and to get the results that they're looking for. And then once you've addressed those objections, addressing the vision, and then showing them, hey, I've got a bigger and better vision for your body or your relationships or your time or your business or whatever it is that you're selling. Here's the vision when we move through these objections and we succeed. When we heal this pain, solve this problem, address these stakes. You know who I am, you know this process works, you've seen it work for other people. Here's the full-on visionary leadership that we're walking you through. And then finally, a call to action. So an appreciation campaign always ends with, hey, let's take the next step. Let's book a call. Let's buy now. And you may give people, if you're in the coaching space, you may give them like a fast action discount. If you're in the consulting space, you want to give a bonus-driven discount that goes away. So you don't just want to drop the price. You want to give bonuses that stack, that are only on that call or within a limited time window, and then have those bonuses go away. Because if you attempt to sell people in the high-ticket space with the same script when you're coaching people, whereas when you're consulting people, both scripts are going to dissolve when you approach like one market or the other. And so you want to have very specific sales scripts for the coaching space versus your consulting space, which could be a little different than the mentoring or advisory space. But once you've got that appreciation campaign, you can just run that over and over and over again. Here are your objections. Here's the vision. Here's the call to action. Here are your objections. Here's the vision. Here's the call to action. So between those three, attention, awareness, and appreciation, you've now solved every objection that people have to moving forward and buying. You've got a campaign that is going to last the test of time, no matter what happens in any economic shock. And you're going to have people continuing to come to you over and over and over again. And the more you succeed in your business, the more that you're going to be able to come back to your marketing and strengthen it even more. So your marketing, when applying this method, is going to be stronger in a year than it was 12 months ago, stronger in 5 years than it was 5 years ago, stronger in 10 years, and it just keeps growing. That success keeps building.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So the next part of it would be, a lot of times it's just, there's so much advertising out there in regards to do it yourself. And as you touched on before, there's some people that are like, oh, I'm not tech savvy, but as you are growing and doing these things, like what are some key things as far as your team goes, like copywriters or, obviously if there's a tech platform that you do want to implement as a bell and whistle to your sales funnel, what are kind of the team, like how do you like to build a team of people to support what you've got going on? Talk about that.
Great question. So my two favorite ways to find people are on Facebook and LinkedIn. And then if those channels can't find me who I'm looking to work with on a project, might go to Fiverr sometimes or even to Upwork. And what I like about Facebook and LinkedIn is that I can find people that know people and I can make sure that person's kind of sort of vetted in our space. What I like about Fiverr and Upwork is I can find somebody today and I can get them moving. I can just throw money at this situation, whatever it is, and I can have a finished product come out the other side, because normally they're going to have reviews, testimonies, other people saying good things about them themselves. Whenever I focus on building a business, it is most important that I don't do it alone. Solopreneurship is one of the biggest myths that has been propagated in our space over the last 10 years. And I currently know 0 people who are actual millionaires in this space, meaning they're cash millionaires, not they have $1 million in sales, but they have $1 million in cash in the bank or more. Every single one of them, 100% to a lady and to a man, has a team. Every single person I know who's struggling, who I get on the phone with and they say, hey, I've been studying this stuff for 5 years, for 10 years, 15 years or more, and I'm still not at that level that I want to be. Every single one of them, to a lady and to a man, is attempting to do this alone. Right. And so knowing that 100 to 0 pattern is there, it's always important to just write out your weaknesses. Like, what are all the things that you hate? And then convert that over into, well, what are all the things that somebody else would love to do? And then I just got to find who's paying the money, how much is it to, charge or to work with these people. And so that I can just focus on my offer and my copywriting. I always recommend people do their copy and their offer for the first few iterations, because if you can't sell it, then we literally can't do anything else. That's, again, why the offer structure, why the copy, why the sales aspect is far more important than anything else at the beginner stage. And then once you have sales coming in, then outsource all the technical stuff that you need to in order to build stuff.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. So now you've mentioned ClickFunnels as far as part of one of the programs or platforms that you've used. Have you tried other landing page platforms? Are you endorsing or recommending them? Or like as far as that piece of the landing pages, what would you say would be your recommendations on that front?
Lots of them. So my recommendation is the easiest one for your tech team to work with. So that might look like Typeform. I've seen multi-million-dollar campaigns just built out with Typeform. I've seen people convert their sales letters over for a $2,000 course that sells really, really well just in Typeform, and then later on bump that up to a 5K course. So Typeform can work really well as a standalone solution. Unbounce is a great landing page builder that's an alternative to ClickFunnels. Kartra is another awesome kind of all-in-one builder. Kajabi, if you're running courses and you want to run them in an automated way, where you're like drip feeding out content, people get certain types of access at certain times. Kajabi works really, really, really well. The most important thing though is to not even think what platform should I use until you've already got your first 5 figures in sales. Where I see a lot of people getting stuck is they'll say, let me solve the tech piece first, then let me get a landing page up, then I'll put my offer out in front of people. We want to reverse that order, and we want to go through 3 major phases. So first we want to sell it. So make sure we got something that's selling. Then we want to build it, and preferably build it with other people. Then we want to scale it, where we're pouring money into advertising, and we know that we're getting $10, $15, $20 out every time we pour that money in, based on the niche market that you're in and the conversion rates you have.
Right. Yeah, no, that's really critical. So I guess my last question for you today would be, when you are building that sales, that offer, what are 3 key areas that help clarify or define offer, I know that creating that avatar and really understanding who you want to sell to. I think some people, they want to sell to a bunch of people versus the niche, but in really finding that avatar and then finding the clarity on what you're offering them. Do you have any insights on that?
Sell to the niche if you want to be rich. Sell to the masses if you want to be poor. I noticed that people who refuse to niche down continue to struggle, whereas people who focus their niches, and I've shifted this over the years to how I now teach this, but I've shifted people to saying, let's only niche down for your next 100 buyers. Once you get to buyer 101, I don't care what you do. We can shift to a different niche. You can go beyond, you can start going to the masses, whatever else. But if somebody's struggling with developing their online business, getting off the ground, just niche down for the next 100 buyers, and to just focus your avatar on only them, and then document out, okay, I'm only working with this niche until I get to my first 100 buyers, my next 100 buyers, whatever that price point is. So that way you've got a pattern of success. And then once you have that pattern of success, then you can shift over and do whatever else you like, or target the masses at that point as well. And this even works even if you have like a Netflix offer, a Prime offer, a Costco offer, where you're charging $10 a month and you're wanting to blow this out to hundreds, if not thousands of people. Or if you're charging a $10,000 program to enroll people in for a few months or a year in order to coach or consult them. Niching down just for those next 100 buyers is really, really key. And then the 3 keys that I shared earlier are the 3 keys that I always work with. So where's our attention campaign? So where are we putting out our message of the pain that our ideal avatar is currently experiencing in their own language on a day-to-day basis, having not yet solved your problem? Let's just get that out to the marketplace and let's capture some attention. Once we capture that attention, we may also want to collect some other information in exchange for enrolling them into that awareness campaign. We may want to capture on a landing page their name, email, phone number. We may want them to sign up on social media like Facebook or LinkedIn and give us all of their information that they've already provided to that site. And there's many different ways that you can set up those pages to do that. I want to collect something that tells them, hey, your attention campaign grabbed my attention, and now I would like more information from you. That's when we deliver an awareness campaign, where again, we talk about who you are, your unique product or method, and then your results, your testimonies, case studies. And then I want to enroll them once they've seen enough of those messages, might be 10, might be 30, somewhere in there. Once their dopamine spiked enough and they're like, oh yeah, I know, like, and trust you as an authority in this space. Then I shift them to an appreciation campaign where we talk about, hey, this works for you, even if you have all these limiting beliefs, or even if you've tried this other thing before. In the fitness space, really simple. This works for you even if you've tried every other diet under the sun, you hate showing up to the gym, and you've never been able to lose those stubborn 7 pounds, even though you've tried everything. So an appreciation campaign of, I know where you're at, I hear where you are, because I've talked to hundreds, if not thousands of other people like you already, or I know this market due to the research that I've done. I know the vision that we're going to create together, and all that's going to be required is an exchange of money and time and energy beyond that. Once you enroll into this offer, and then our call to action, hey, let's get on the phone, or, enroll into this right now. It's only $9.97. Is that a Visa or MasterCard? We can take all of those. So between those three, attention, awareness, appreciation, you don't need any tools beyond Google Doc and YouTube videos, and you can just set those up sequentially, the same way that you would build a funnel. And then after you have sales rolling in, then you can outsource to other people and say, hey, here's the technical thing that I want to build. You go build that, and I'll just pay you money. And that way you're thinking more like an entrepreneur than like a worker, more like a visionary than an operator, more like a leader rather than a supporter. And that just makes your business and your life so much happier.
Yeah, that's great. It was very insightful. Thank you so much. We have a lot of amazing people listening to this summit, and I just want to let you share, an opportunity for them to reach out to you, find you, learn more about you. What would be a really good place to start for them?
Facebook's the simplest. I'm the only Eric Cimrhanzel on earth, so I'm very, very easy to find, and I promote all kinds of great stuff there. I've got private groups that I open up on helping people with their next 100 buyers. I've done workshops, and I'm hosting even more longer workshops on if you're struggling with your next 100 buyers, if you don't know, either who your avatar is or what message to work through in order to promote to them. I've done that successfully for years and years and years, and it's a lot of fun. And for certain masterminds or certain teams, I'll do sales call breakdowns. But Facebook's the simplest way to find me because I am on there.
All right. Well, again, Eric Cimrhanzel, thank you so much for being on my summit, and look forward to encouraging people to be empowered and find their funnels and be successful, convert, all that great stuff. So again, thank you so much for being on my summit, and we look forward to sharing more of this information and follow-up emails to our list. And thank you again.
Wonderful. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate you.